Hey, good evening, everybody. How are we on this Tuesday, June 9th, 2020? I want to thank everybody for being here. Absolutely appreciate it. Is the sound okay? I want to make sure that mic is all right. Everything good? Sounds good? All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so the topic tonight, how to find trades in trends. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Right now I want to just talk just a tad about the overall market. Overall market, I still believe the bulls are in charge. Could they be looking at a little bit of a pullback, a rest? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's happened before. If we come back over here, a little rest, a little rest, a little rest. There's a little rest, a little rest, little rest. Here's a rest. But it just keeps going up. And until we break that trend, then, okay. Sorry, okay to Ed. If we start to break that trend, then we'll look at a bearish market. But right now, I'm hard pressed to get super crazy bearish. But I'm also really hard pressed to get super long. I mentioned this in the room today that there are times when we might be best suited to just step away from the market. And this is a real choppy time that we're having right now. And everybody's trying to catch that little move. And what I'm finding are people over here watching 15-minute charts, even 5-minute charts, and it's driving you absolutely crazy. And the way to stop the craziness is don't do that. Remember, we as traders, we don't have to trade every day. That's really neat about our job. We honestly do not have to. So don't ever feel pressured that you have to do that. So, I look at this market and I'm thinking, man, walk softly. Be gentle with your trading, cut back on some trades, take it easy. I know we hear we get a lot of emails, a lot of Facebook stuff, people making 1,000% in one day and all that kind of stuff. Don't believe that stuff. Okay. Don't believe it until they can absolutely prove it. And markets like this, it's tough to trade, and it's tough for a lot of people, not just a few people. So it's tough for a lot. So anyway, if we look at this chart here, you can clearly see that we are still in a bullish trend. The bears have not taken over at all. This is simply the 3 exponential, the 8 exponential, or what we call the T-line. And this is simply the 17 exponential, what we call the trendicator, or red-green line. I refer to it at times. If we take a look at this there we are, T2122, we are up there pretty doggone high. And this is just the yellow line here is the exponential 19. We could actually change that to just about any moving average you want. And what I want to point out is how close it is. See, let me see if this tool works. There we go. How close it is up there to about that 90 mark, that white line. And if you look way back over here, it's up there right now here in 2 places over there. Other than that, it's been pretty much just sideways, or not sideways, but it's reached a top over here about this between 75 and 80, I guess. And the point I'm trying to make here is we might be just a tad overextended, just a tad. In no way, shape, or form does this mean that you should short the market. Doesn't mean to sell everything. It does mean, however, to be a little bit cautious. So I wouldn't use this as an indicator. I would just simply use this as a or not an indicator to trade, but simply as something to watch to where the market is. You know, is the market up here? Is the market down here? Is the market in the middle? And generally, when it gets up this high, it tends to come back down. Doesn't always have to come back down to this lower white line. It can come back down to here and then start back up. But I just really want to point out on how not very often does the a moving average get up there this high, and you can see that right there. It just doesn't get up there very often. You get those green dash lines, which that represents price. You get that up there quite often. I mean, this whole area, whole area there, here, 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 here. But we just don't get that moving average up there. So I think a little caution out there is needed. And I think those that have trouble trading, have trouble making money, and you feel frustrated, this is a good time to step back for a day or two. Just, take a little breath, take a breather, go mow your lawn, go for a walk, play with the grandkids, do something, ride your bike, go for a drive, things like that, and maybe step away from the market just for a day or two. And it'll all be back to normal. It always is. And what is back to normal? Well, back to normal could be continuing that trend right up. We could see price come on down like that, and then we could see it bounce right off that trend line and move back up. Normal would also be, let's back those up a little bit. Normal could also be we start to bounce up, but we fail and we get below that trend line. Basically, it's decision is what we're looking for. Simple decision. Decision this way, or is it going to be decision this way? And this choppiness, this is what gets us in trouble. So there you go, Lauren. Time to watch some educational videos. Good idea. A little house cleaning here before we go any further. Ed wanted me to asked me to remind you that the LTA scanner is still on sale until July 1. And actually, I was corrected on that. It's June 30th. June 30th is when it ends, not July 1st. July 1st, the price actually goes to the 147 price. And here's a link if anybody is interested. And while we're talking about the live trading alert scanner, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the live trading alerts room, Ed will be doing some training over there, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And I have it on good authority that he's got a few scans, new scans that he wants to share. And another new scan that he's going to be sharing pretty quick is a scan that's just going to be called breakout. As far as I know, that's what's going to be called right now, is breakout. And it's going to be looking at some breakouts. I think we all like breakouts. We've had a lot of people ask about it, about breakouts, and I think we've got one here. I think Ed, goes over the top on some of this stuff and does a great job. So, and we'll talk about a couple of charts that came up on this today that look pretty sharp on the scanner. Okay, let's see here. Dave T. Hello. Where do I go to view the classes if I can't be here? Ed, I'm sure we'll put a link out for you. Dave, I'm pretty sure that Ed will be taking care of that here in just a moment. And will there be a recording? Yes, Dick. They're always recorded and they're posted on the Live Trading Alerts website. And again, I think Ed will put it out here shortly. Let's see, RC. I use the LTA to find trades that and have 11 out of 12 winners over the past month. Well done, sir. Well done. Thank you. One has to know charting. Yes. Yeah, the scanner's not magic, It's not fairy dust. It's not gonna just It's not going to do everything, I guess. You're right. You've got to know charting. Have a trading plan, money management, patience. Yes, sir. That all goes with trading in general. So anyway, nice. Congratulations, RC. Well done. What scans do I like best? RC, think. Asking RC there. All right. Let's talk about finding trends in finding trades in a trend. I knew that came out wrong and I couldn't figure out what it was. Let's take a look at Apple. Oh, and one other thing. Sorry. I don't mean to back up too much. For those that are interested in downloading the app, the members only app, which means you get trade alerts during the day from both Hit Run Candlesticks and Right Way options. If you sign up for the Hit Run Candlesticks, you get Hit Run Candlesticks. If you sign up for Right Way options, you get Right Way options. If you sign up for both, you get both. And what that might do for you is something like this. VXX was posted out today. Let's see, bought September. This is what was sent out to those that have the app. Bought VXX call September 27 strike, 30.55 stop for now. And we were looking at the 15-minute chart. And what I was looking at was our gap this morning. Drew a line right there under that first bar and then traded above that. Still in it. It never went to our we never got stopped out once we got in it at our 30.55. Still holding it, and it's still kind of looking a little bullish right here. So that would have been a nice call or a nice trade for some folks if you were in it. You could be up 10, 15% maybe looking at an option trade, maybe even more, depending exactly where you bought it. Okay, now. Sorry, I had to skip around there. Got some notes. Skipped over them. All right. Let's find some trades in a trending market. And I honestly believe that most people think simplicity is best. I truly believe most people think that. And at the same time, I think a lot of people, we'll change the wording there a little bit, maybe not most, a lot of people, a lot of traders, work their darndest to complicate things, and they don't mean to. You really, really, really don't mean to. I don't think anyone sets out to say, I want to complicate my chart. But I think we do that. I think we pick up an ebook, pick up a video, we pick this up, pick that up, we do some education, and somebody talks about a new whiz-bang indicator, we put that on the chart, and what happens is it ends up fogging our vision. It fogs up our glasses so we can't see through them. And it makes it tough to trade. It really does. And really there's only a couple of things that we need to look for. Let's see. I guess we could leave that there. And let's move this over. There's really only a few things we need to look for when we're looking for those charts. There's only a couple of four real chart patterns, and a flag. Let's try that again. Let's see here. Let's do it this way. So we have a bullish move, and then we have a flag moving down. Can you guys see the green okay? I can change that color if that's not a good enough color. So what we're looking for, thanks Steve, we're looking for that trend, and we'll come back to the trend in a minute. And we're looking for that flag right here. Another chart pattern that we're looking for is an ascending triangle, and here we are coming up this way. Here's our trend. And what that is where stock can't get through the top. Now, it may have little wicks popping up the top, things like that. And you may even have a little crazy wick down below that line, but you should be able to clearly identify in a chart that you've got a top and you've got rising lows. Another chart pattern that looks pretty good is a ascending triangle, or a lot of people call that a pennant as well. This is another quality chart pattern that we want to look at coming out of that trend. So we go from the trend, we go up, and then we start forming that ascending triangle. Ascending triangle basically is where the down and the up, you can draw a flat line out like this. So they just, both lines are pointing to one line that points out this direction. Higher lows and lower highs is what it is. Another one is a rectangle. I think I can safely say that the way we use this, and you might look at a rectangle maybe this large, but I think the way we use this is a little more tighter. And that might even be a little too tight. But we'll go something like that. And we call that a pop out of the box. Now, and again, our trend runs like this. Probably should have spread those out a little bit. Sorry about that. And there's some common denominators here. And one common denominator is the trend, and we're going to come back to that a little bit. Another one is the trend creates support, which we're going to come back to that again as well. A common denominator of all of these chart patterns is that when they pull back like this, or tighten up like this, or tighten up like that, or tighten up like that, what that's doing is giving us a stock that's been up and it's pulling back to a rest phase, a resting phase, or tight consolidation. You'll hear us call it tight consolidation, and that's what we're looking for. I mean, if you really, and what I would strongly suggest, the way the market is right now, I honestly would just consider doing some education for yourself, lighten up on your positions, maybe be all cash just for a day or two. Let things sort of settle down, let the market cool down a little bit, let the Fed talk get over with this week, and let the market make a good, solid decision, which right now the decision is a bold trend. But what I would do is I would flip through charts and I would look at charts. And when you find a chart where you can say, boy, I wish I was in that move right there. When you see a chart and you say, man, I wish I could be there. Well, I want you to stop just for a minute there. I want you to stop, and I want you to take a peek at, whoops, wrong tool. Hang on here. There we go. Take a peek at the chart pattern that developed right here to get you up here. Just stop when you say that, man, I wish I could have been in that chart. Stop and take a look at that chart pattern right there. And what you'll see is that trend and then that consolidation or that rest in here, and you'll see how this starts to develop. But by doing that, what will happen is you'll start to get where you recognize those chart patterns in there. Once you recognize those chart patterns, train your eyes to see those chart patterns, then you'll be better equipped to be in this move. And let's change the color here, whether it's by buying inside the chart pattern or waiting for that breakout and maybe a retest to get back into that trend. But like I said, you'll be able to recognize those. But it does take a little bit of training your eyes. And all it takes is some time away from trading. You hardly can't do this during the day and trade. You can't do it because we're human. And what we're going to do is every time we find a stock that has a good looking chart pattern, we're going to go to that shiny thing and we're going to consider a trade, or we're going to type it in trading rooms, things like that. We're going to write it down on a piece of paper. We're going to put it on our watch list, and you've just ruined everything about the whole training your eyes process. So this might be a good time to just take a day. Just take a day. Let's see what tomorrow does. Let's just take tomorrow and just look at those charts and try not to trade too much. Somebody's in the room, in the Hit and Run Candlesticks room today, said I think we were talking about taking some time off, not watching charts, not trading. And no trades, no money is like making money. And for those that consistently have some losses, or you don't seem to be able to put enough winning trades together to make money, that I think that's a good comment that somebody made. It's some days you're better off not to trade, and you'll actually make more money than if you traded. These days are right now. I think we're in the middle of those days right now. Okay, so let's see. Ron, is that like a 3-week tight? I don't know what you mean by that, Ron. Are you talking about 3 weeks long? Is that what you mean? Maybe that's what you're. I don't know. Are we looking at a chart, something? And if that is the case, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 1 day, it could be 3 days. So there's no set time. It's a matter of looking at that chart and finding it. A lot of times going to a naked chart, you can find it a bit better. So if you were to look at this chart, let me get rid of all that, I guess. If you were to look at this chart in Apple, there is some flat trading right there, and there is your rising lows. See how that tightens up there at that point? Right there at that point. You see how that breakout? That was a clue to either be long on this day or be long on the following day or days, depending on your entry point here. I also want to just mention this because this is one of these charts, that breakout alert that I was talking about. Apple would have alerted, actually it did alert on this day right here 3 days ago. Now, because of the makeup of this, it would not have alerted on this day or this day. It would have, it wouldn't have alerted these 2 days. It alerted this day right here on that breakout because that's what it's looking for. And it's all about the makeup, and I'm, really don't have time to get inside that tonight. But it's one of those charts that came up on that alert. And for you Apple traders, or for anybody, it doesn't have to be Apple. It could be any chart you're looking at. That, to some traders, those breakout trades are just, that is just buckets of money to you. That's what you do, and that's fantastic. If we look at Apple and we look at the whole trend here, let's just take this and draw that up like that. And every one of these rest periods that we were talking about, see how we rallied up, and look at that rest period. That's a rest period. That's not bearishness. That's a rest period. That's a bullish pullback, a bullish rest. And this is where we look to maybe start that looking for that chart pattern. The chart pattern we're looking for is that rise, that pullback. We're looking for buyers. Another place, no harm in buying it, is wait for that breakout right here. Wait for that breakout. So that would have keyed you right here as a buy. You may have held it. I don't know. Your stop would have been down into here. It would have triggered you out. And look at the money you could have had. And now you start that whole process over, where here's our rally up. Here's our rest period back down to trend. Man, there's some buy signals that might have gotten you in right there. If it didn't get you in there, then maybe you might have got in on that breakout, up here. So maybe somebody bought one of these candles. That for sure, you would have been rocking and rolling. And then if you didn't buy those, the alert would have given you this signal right here. So, Gwen, congratulations. Are you serious? So Gwen, Apple, my all-time greatest winner, up 3,733%. Congratulations, Gwen. Nice trade. Judy is saying, whoops, let me catch up here. Let's see. Judy is saying it is an IBD methodology of approximately 17 days consolidation. Okay, I don't follow IBD, but I think that is a good statement to make. I know that there's a scanner alert that I put together, which I've traded this for years, looking for J hooks, breakouts, and I'm looking at 17 days. So it's the highest. It's a breakout in the recent 17 days. So you put a trend together. You're looking for that breakout within 17 days. Notice that Apple would have done that as well. It would have keyed you in on that. But again, let's go back to this trend business for a second. Let's look at Pool, I think. Yeah, Pool. Pool, by the way, if you received, if you receive the alerts on the app, and you don't, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but the app, the Pro Trading Room app, the members app, you do not have to be in the trading room to get alerts. You can be at the lake, you can be fishing, you could be swimming, you could be, I'm into water here lately, I guess. You could be driving down the street, you could be at the dentist, wherever you want to be. The only thing is you have to have your phone on. So, okay, you've got to have your phone on, but you do not have to be in the room, and you would have gotten alerts. And Pool is one that I alerted on this morning at 9:26 a.m. my time. That would have been 10:26 a.m. Eastern time. But it was one that started to alert on one of the scans popping up here. And you can see the trend, how that trend is starting to work. Now, this alerted here, it would alert it here, it would alert it here. With this new breakout scan, it actually would have alerted right here as well. Especially, this candle right there. I want to point that out. Let's see, we'll do it this way. We'll see what that looks like. Yeah, that works. See that breakout right here? We've got some volume in there. And we can set it up so you can see breakouts on volume as well. You don't have to use the volume, but if you do, it just finds those alerts with that breakout candle and volume. Kind of cool, actually. But all you've got to do is find that trend, and finding a trend is really, really, really simple. You don't have to complicate it. One thing you can do is, I'm going to go to this chart. These green dots. I guess you can do this on all programs. I don't know. I don't know any other programs. All I know is TC2000, and TC2000. That's what this is. This is what I use. And these green dots, there's your trend right there. It's nothing more than the 17 exponential moving average, the 34 exponential moving average. There it is, right there. So a simple way you do that is you can write some code, or it's on the scanner, however you want to do it. Is you want to look for where the here. Let me remove this, and let's go back to the naked chart for a second. And yes, let's use the 34. So there's a 34 up there. So what you would do is you're simply looking for, say, this section. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This section right here to be higher than this section. And I'm talking about the 34 exponential. So you want the 34 exponential to be higher than this section. You want this section to be higher than this section. You want this section to be higher. Whoops. Try that again. There you go. You want this section to be higher than this section. There's no trick to it. It's actually very, very simple. So you can be looking at only trending charts if you want. You just have to do that right there. You can use the 34, you can use the 50, you can use the 20. There's, I don't know, there may be, there's 306 people in the room right now. There might be a handful of people that might want to get into an argument, a friendly argument on, well, somebody says I use the 34, somebody will say, well, I use the 20, somebody will say, well, I use the 10, somebody, I'll use the 15. It does not matter which one you use. What matters is you use it consistently. And that right there helps you only look at charts that are trending. Now, got to admit, sometimes those trends get a little sloppy by using the moving averages, but by and large, it will give you more possible trade ideas than you can just, it would be impossible to trade them all, and you're not going to miss anything. So if I can be looking at a naked chart like this, and I can go to a particular alert from the scanner, and I will guarantee you it's in a trend. There's no question it's in a trend. And if you want to come over here and draw those trend lines, then by all means. And I think you should. I think that's a good idea. And what we're looking for, again, are those places where the charts are tightening up. Here, it tightened up right in here, but see how it failed? Okay, then it's a failure. I mean, we're going to have charts that fail. There's just, you can't get away from that. You can't hide from that. You can't put your head under a rug. It's just going to happen. So this starts to build up pressure again down here, closer to that trend line, and now we start to break out. Well, now you've got a breakout trade setting up. Here you have a nice long flag being built right in here, and right now that's looking like support about that area right there. Another one that I posted at the same time, it was actually on the same post, was CCJ, and these, here's our longer ascending triangle right in here, and you can see we're starting that breakout. We've got a nice little doji, actually 3 dojis in here, and a bullish engulf setting up. So you can see that little trend starting. Here's that low, that high, that higher low right in here. And it's just, as long as you get that that trend work, and let me get that 34 out of there. There you go. You can see how the red-green line is rising. I mean, we can put right there, if you just want to use the dots, you can put it right there on the dots. There they are. That's our rise. That's our little trend right in that area. Look back here on how it was trending. And let's look for those little consolidation areas that you could have gotten into. Look at those little tight areas right there. Here we move down, a bullish engulf. Would that have not been a good buy signal? Or even a buy signal right here. Normal pullback, this should not have stopped one out. And here we move up. If you missed all that, here is another tight, well, let's use the same thing. Here's another tight little consolidation, little pop out of the box. It actually popped to the downside, and then it came right back with a big bullish engulf. Would have been a nice buy in that area. Race was another one. Race was another one here that was posted at the same time. Nice little pullback. And these are all showing bullish signals with volume breakout too. That's where these came from, is a volume alert. So nice little pop up, little pullback here. We've got our little flag brewing in there. And there we can put a line here to make some argument on consolidation, or I'm sorry, support. And again, it's really all about training your eyes. Even if you have something like the live trading alerts scanner, or however you find charts, they don't pump out perfect charts 100% of the time. So you still have to come in here and recognize the chart pattern. I mean, you have to recognize a chart pattern to trade it. You've got to be able to talk about it. You've got to be able to share it with yourself or your dog or your spouse or your kids or the bird outside your house. You know, be able to share it. Make an argument why you want to trade that. SQ was another one that was on the same alert. Look how we've rallied up here. Look at that breakout. This alerted as well on the breakout alert. Oh, let me see here. Let me fix this. Grab the right tool frame. There we go. So if we take this and move it down, see how we had the volume breakout here, and look how we broke out right there. So nice little breakout. If you want to buy the breakout, you want to buy here. However you look for those entries, however you get into those entries. Maybe you wait for it to pull back 3 or 4 days, or 15 days, something like that, or somewhere in between. Wait for the buyers. There's some kind of candle that you feel is the buyers, and then pop. That's what we look for right there. I do apologize. I've kind of I wasn't moving my screen down, so I don't know if there was any questions in there. Let's see, about how many alerts in HRC compared to RWO. Don, I'm going to answer that in this way. I don't know. It's not something we keep track of. It's not a contest. It's not a race. When there are some days there are no alerts that go out. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. So some days there's none. Some days there's 5. Some days there's 1, and some days there's none. So I really don't know. We don't, like I say, it's not a race. It's not a competition. Our goal is to put out trades that we like, charts that we like, that we think have a good advantage. So I hope that helps. I honestly, truly, we don't have a number on that. So let's see, Dave, are the green dots part of TC2000? In a way, yeah, they're on TC2000, but we create them just by putting a couple things together. Like the 17 EMA, if I turned it on, there it is right there. What I do is I turn the 17 off, and then what we do is get the volatility stop. We set it to 10, and then 0.10, and then we use the data source as the 17 EMA. Change the up to green, the down to red. Make sure those are, I don't think they come that colors. But like I say, change the up to green, down to red, data source 17, and bada boom, bada bang. You got one of the coolest little things on a chart that I've seen in a long time. That is pretty cool. Why would you go long here? Why? On any conversation, why would you go long here? You wouldn't. Why try to catch this? What's the, what would be the hang up trying to catch that? How about this? Why would you try to catch that? We're not showing anything bullish yet. But all of a sudden here, let's rock and roll. That is pretty darn cool right there. If it's green, the trend might be somewhat sloppy, But overall, you know if it's green, it's trending. 99.9% chance that it's trending if it's green. If it goes green, red, green, red, green, red, green, 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 red, stay away from those charts. They're not trending. They're choppy charts. So, yeah. So anyway, sorry, I got off this a little bit. Yeah, and maybe it's part of other programs. I honestly don't know. I only use TC2000. I've used TC2000 since day one, and I've never been without a subscription in over 30 years. So I don't know about any of the programs, honestly. Alice wants best trades for tomorrow. That's what you want, huh? You want best trades for tomorrow. Okay. How about we look at breakout stock on volume? How about Rambus right there? Again, that's coming out on the the breakout alert. How's that one, Alice? I'll make you a deal. I'll give you one if you give me one. Let's do that. So you give me one, then I'll give you another. Okay, thanks. I don't know how to do that. You have TC2000, Dave? And unfortunately, I can't. If I go down in the answer, well, I'll try. Okay. Are you in any one of the trading rooms, Dave, tomorrow? Dave, are you in any one of the trading rooms tomorrow? You have work? Okay. I'll tell you what, when we quit here today, and we're going to quit in about 15, 17 minutes, if you hang around, I'll set it up for you. Or we can do it Thursday, your choice. We can do it Thursday during the room, maybe. Okay? But be glad to help you with that. Let's see here. Johnny Mack, what percentage of alerts are profitable historically? You know, Johnny, that's not something I keep track of. It wouldn't be hard to figure it out. Just have to put everything on a spreadsheet. I don't know. But let me share this with you. I started 15 months ago. I opened an account when I started trading options for $5,100. Today, it's worth $76,000. Okay, so that's 15 months. So, you know, I don't know how many are right or wrong. I really don't, and nor do I care. Yeah. All right. I hope that helped. Let's see. Volume stop. Thank you, Arnaldo. Volume stop 10, 10. Yeah. And that just seems to follow the moving average pretty well. See there, 10, 10. And the trick is the data source. Use the 17 EMA for the data source. Or you could use the 20 simple or the 10 simple or the T-line if you want, or the 34 or 50 simple. You can use anything you want for the data source. Anything at all. I mean, watch this line right here. So see how it's a 17? I'm going to go over here, and here's the 50. I'm going to change it to the 50. Watch this green line right here. There are the green dots. Look how it moved it down. See how it's red? We're trending down. Red, 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 red. We break out, and they turn green, 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 green. So you could use any moving average you want. I just find that for my style of trading, for what it seems like a lot of people in the trading room, that 17, both hit and run candlesticks and right way options, that 17 seems to work. And the 20 simple is awfully close. So I can say, I honestly don't believe the 17 EMA is some magic super secret sauce. I think knowing what you want in a trade is key. Once you know what you want, you can match that moving average up to what you want and be consistent with that. That's that right there, I think, is the super secret, if there's a super secret. Well, let's see. What is the power line on the volume? Is that part of TC2000? Richard, thanks for asking. Sorry, I have to chuckle about that. Sometimes I have fun. The power line, I put that up there a few years ago to prove a point, and I'm sorry, you proved my point. Trading can be as simple as, whoops, let's not do it to this chart. Let's come over here. Trading can be as simple as just looking at price action. That's all you need right there. Trading can be that simple. I would venture to bet that if a trader does not use a chart like this, clean as a whistle, I mean, you get to draw trend lines. You get to do that, no doubt about it. Put trend lines up there. Put some breakouts, horizontal support and resistance, that type of thing up there. You get to do that. But if you don't use the chart like this, I would bet you, I'll bet you a big fat steak dinner, if you did this for 30 days, for 1 month, if you dedicated yourself to only looking at this chart right here, one, your trading would improve. And again, if I'm wrong, I'll buy you a big fat steak dinner anywhere you want in your hometown. And of course, if I'm right, I'll tell you where I want my steak dinner in my hometown. But if you do that, you're going to, and believe me, I'm getting to the power line, okay? I promise you. But if you do this for 30 days, one, I think you'll become a better trader. And two, I think you'll become a calmer trader and be more confident about your trades. And I'm not saying you're not confident at all, and I'm not saying you're not calm. What I'm saying is you become more by using that. All right, now I'll tell you about that power line, okay? So, and I know this from experience. I've been there. I train over a year's time, do private coaching with a lot of folks, do a lot of webinars like this, and talk to a lot of people privately. And when everyone comes to a webinar, what they want to know is, what is this indicator? How do I have that set up? How's this set up? What does that mean? What is this? What is that? Oh, top secret. Here's one. Top secret one. And then there's the power line. So one day, for fun, to prove a point, I renamed it the power line, just so people would ask about it, because it's not the indicators on the chart. It's not the indicators on the chart that makes one a good trader. Reading price action is what makes one a good trader. So what is the power line? It's simply the linear regression, and I've just marked it to 150. All I'm looking for is a line that goes across. A lot of people will use the 50-day simple moving average, maybe something like that. I use just a flat straight line, and it's just an easy way for my eyes to go look when there is a breakout. That's all it is. That's all it is. So thank you very much for asking. I do appreciate it, and I hope that whole process made sense, and I hope you take it to heart. So anyway, thank you. Let's see, what broker? I use TradeHawk, Joesville. I use TradeHawk. Ed gave it away for me. Thanks, Alice. Still waiting for your chart though, but we're gonna look at a couple others maybe. How about Ace? How about CGC? All right. How about CGC? Actually, I don't know that I'm digging CGC right now. I really don't think I am. I'm just not digging that chart at all. To start with, I want a good trend. Let's look for a good trend, not some chippy choppy little thing that, you know, we're going to hope that we make something on. I want something trending. And I also look at this chart and I can't help wondering, why would I want to be looking at this if we're right in that head and shoulders area right here? Yeah, I just don't think I'm digging this one at all, honestly, right now. We also, if we look over here, that line that I put up right there, man, we're bumping up against some serious resistance over here. So I think I might be kind of thinking about CGC. You know, if we can get back up here over 1985, get back up in this territory, then I think that might be a trade. Definitely. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Looking at that weekly, here's a downtrend right there. Because of that, I might have to move my line up just a tad. Yeah, boy. I think I'm going to go to 2250. So honestly, I don't even like this chart until we get above that 2250 mark. I don't care much about that. But over that 2250, that's where I think this might become a good trade. And then I probably should. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. We can put another line if we want to go this way. You can also do that if you want. I look at that tight space and not sure that I'm pretty sure I can find a whole lot of charts that look a whole lot better there on that one, Alice. Hope that helped a little. Let's see, for your trading scanner, does one need a special charting software program that it works on? No, DR, you don't. Really, you don't even have to have a stock charts for that matter. You could just, as long as you have internet, you could plug it in and watch the pretty colors go by if you want. No, it runs independently. Let's see. MK, can you start with only $2,000 with the alerts? Can you start with only $2,000 with the alerts? M, you're asking two questions there. All right, let's separate them by about 400 miles. All right, and let's answer one question first, and it will be a standalone answer for that question. And let's start with, can you start with only $2,000? What I'm guessing you're asking is, can you start trading with $2,000? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Without going into a bunch of great detail, let's just leave it at yes. Now, with the alerts, that's a separate question. Yes, you can use alerts to trade your $2,000. And that's how I'm reading that. If you actually meant something else, please ask. But I would like to back up just a little bit, and let's go back to that first question, just a tad, just a touch. If you're jumping into trading and you're just starting and you have $2,000, honestly, I think the scanner is worth its weight in gold 10 times over. I really do. There were times years ago when I used a similar scanner, didn't have quite the alerts that this has, but I paid $300 a month for it. And they could have raised it to $600 a month and I would have paid it. But let's back up a bit, all right? With $2,000, I think it's more important for you and for anybody to learn trading first, okay? So I just trying to help you there. I hope that made some sense. Chris, just cause dots, and it just causes dots instead of the line. Absolutely, Chris. It just, red is bearish, green is bullish. Yeah. Changes colors. Yes. Let's see. MT. The alerts are not recommendations. No, no, absolutely not. Rick just shares what he's trading. Thanks, MT. Yes. You know, I just realized, Kay, what you may have been asking with the second question, and that's the alerts from the app. If you are a member, you automatically get the alerts, assuming you sign up for them. They're free. Well, they're free. It's a member benefit. You have to go through the process of putting it on your smartphone. We can help you with that. Super easy. But members get the alerts. Maybe that's what you meant. Sorry if I didn't catch that. Thanks, MT. You made me think of that. Let's see, Ari. Is it Ari? Oh, there we are. You're talking to Ed there. Okay. Let's see, Frank, do you still have a discount coupon for TC2000? I do. Whoops. Give me a second here. I'll post it down here. There you go, Ari. Let's see. What is sweet spot? You know, I don't even know now. There it is. It's actually Doug's 3/8 trap. That's what it is. I can click on it. It tells me. Sweet spot, Doug's 3/8 trap. The trap 3/8 is trap 3/8 with a PBO. What's this one? This is when it turns purple or whatever color that is. It's a basic RBB setup. So it's just it's a way for me to look at a chart and just glance at it, and it'll tell me what it's doing. See this one, this here. Let's see. Let's look at Home Depot. There's Home Depot. See, it's in the sweet spot. 3/8 trap, 3/8 trap, and it's not an RBB because it doesn't say RBB. It's just the colors up there. It's just a quick glance. Let's see, Tom. Oh, you're asking Ed. I'll let Ed answer that. Neil, KG. Let's see what Neil's got there. KG. KG falling apart. Nice short maybe here on KG. That's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, KG might be a nice little short here. I was looking at CRM today. Let's clean that up a little. There we go. Where were you here? Let's see. I was looking at CRM today. Not very good relative strength, but clearly some interesting compression. Yes, there's some compression there. I think I'm going to have to go with something like this. And then you've got it right here. This reminds me of a chart I want to go look at after this one. So this is one of these charts, and you'll see on this next chart we're going to look at where, where if we started to see some bullishness in here, then I could see a trade. I have no problem trading in this area. This is one of my favorite areas to trade, anticipating that breakout. Another thing you might want to wait for is maybe wait for this to break out like that, and then you'd be looking at a trade over here is what I would be looking at. Now let me show you a trade that's very similar to this actually. I can't think of it now. Oh, sometimes my mind does this. AMD, good grief, Rick. AMD, look at AMD. That's a very similar trade. We spoke of this morning in this area, and you can see it broke out. So it could have been bought here this morning inside that area. Could have been bought on this breakout, or what you wait for is you wait for that breakout like it did here, and then we look for rest or watch for that chart pattern to set up. Even if, here, let's do it this way. Even if we don't pull back, say we just move up like this, we're still going to wait for that consolidation, wait for that chart pattern. So what was it? CM, whatever it was, taco place. Very similar chart pattern, and that's what I'd look for. Let's see here. Welcome, Frank. GNUS. GNUS, nice little pop to the upside. I want to come over here, make sure there's enough volume. There is here and there. Yeah, a little sporadic, but there is. Nice little trend. Here's our little pullback. There's exactly what we're talking about for a trend. You can just see the trend there. Look at those green dots. It's a trend. And if you want to tighten it up and put that on price, you can certainly do that as well. Wherever you might want to put that trend line, right there it is on price. We're going to go from here, touch those, and let this go where it will. Here we are down toward that trend line. So we've got a rally, and now we have a pullback or a rest. Still in a bullish trend. The trend is still bullish. We have a bullish pullback. Now, for a buy, I think what we're going to want to see is a buying candle. Buyers in there. We want to see proof that the buyers are going to buy it. Outside of that, the chart is still in a little pullback. It's still in that pullback mode. And what could happen is it could continue to pull back and break the trend and get a little nasty right in here. So for buying, great watch list material. But for buying, I would certainly want to see buyers. And honestly, I'd probably want to see a trade above about that $5.50 mark. So let's let it see if it can break out. And then we'll look for those buyers in there. And then we'll have a low, a high, a higher low. And then we can start buying with buyers coming in. Yes, they are. Okay, if you are a member, and yes, trial, you can download it. Download the app, yes. Let's see. Oh, okay, Neil. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see, Gwen, can you please help me with BLDR? BLDR. I'm still in a bit in the dark about what to do. Okay, Gwen, I don't know if you're in it or you're looking to buy it. Exactly what you're looking for here. But let's take a look at the chart, and let's start with, I think we can clearly say that we're in a trend. I'm just looking at those green and red dots. I'm looking at the T line. The T line's above. I would say we're in a trend. So if we come up here, let's look at the chart pattern. And one thing I want to look at is, are we running into resistance up here? So it could be that it is not even a trade that we want to take. So that is one thing to consider. Might not even be one you want to take right now. Maybe. Okay, outside of that, let's look at what we've got going on here. We've rallied up. We've pulled back. I see this high over there, so I'm going to put a line up there just to, and this is how I work a chart, just like this. Start looking at it. I'm going to put another line up, that high. So here we've rallied up. We have a bit of a shooting star, and we have a bit of not follow through as far as going below that candle, but this candle right here yesterday sure is afraid of whatever this candle was afraid of. So there's a monster right here. Whatever the monster is, it's there. So then we've gapped down to a doji. So if I'm thinking about trading this, I'm going to really, really have to see some buyers come in here. And I think by that, my best I could do would be over about 23.35 would be where I would want to buy it at best right now. And truthfully, let's see if we can't get through all this this mush that's in here, this yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Make your mind up already, kind of thing. Maybe it breaks out. The problem now is we're getting right up into this. So I have to wonder if this is even a trade we want to consider at this moment. Now, if we get up here and break out, that might be a different story. That would be a huge different story. So up into this area maybe. So anyway, that's kind of how I look at that. I'm going to get rid of all this. And if you had an entry here, you're looking at, there's nothing spectacular. 15, 16, 17% up to that top, 18% depending where you enter it. I don't know. There might be better charts out there right now, honestly. So, let's see, Rita. How can someone find 5-minute trades with the scanner? Well, that's easy. That's a piece of cake. Inside the scanner, right-click, go to Properties. And you see right here where it says daily, change that to 5-minute. And if the way I use the scanner, if I change this to 5-minute, then I'm going to come down here and change this to 5-minute. Not everyone does that. Some people look at different time frames. I have found that not to be that useful, actually. I want to change this to 5-minute, and then I'm going to click OK, and there you're all done. Bada boom, bada bang. Life's great, just like that. So I'm going to cancel this because I don't want to save it, but it's pretty easy to do, Rita. Very, very easy. Let's see, MT, Disney. Disney kind of looks like that chart we just sort of looked at, although that BLDR, although Disney has more room to the upside. Disney has more room. Look at that trend that has been trending right here. I like that. Let's point out the breakout. I think, and no answers from anybody, please. And maybe somebody could draw me a line. Sorry, I forgot what time it was. I think it's important, even though you might see this area, I think it is very, very important to draw a line there. Now, I can only speak for myself. I think I can safely speak for both Doug and Ed, who have, we all three have plenty years in trading, plenty years. And to this day, we all put these trend lines on there. But the truth is, we can see them. How did I know to put that there? Because I saw it. So do I have to do it? No. Is it wise to do it? Yes. So I would urge everyone to use those lines. And what I want to do is as I build this chart, I want the markers there. I want the framing to be there. I want to be able to step back and see the framing of the building of this chart. And I think that's an important breakout. I think it's very important for this chart. So here we've had a breakout, low to a high to a higher low. And now we start over, low, high. Right now we could be building a higher low. We don't know that it's going to go lower or even that much lower. We're looking at support right here. And in the way I kind of look at it is I'm not going to put my support line right here. I rarely use one little candle all by itself. Rarely do I do that. In fact, I don't know of a time recently that I've ever really done that. I would drop this down to this level here, and I'm getting 3 touches here, close, maybe kind of close on that one. In fact, I might even, in my way I do things, I would be more like this. Either way you look at it, I wouldn't look at buying in this until you received a buy signal. And it doesn't matter where you put this line. Heck, you can put it down here if you want. I wouldn't even dream of buying it without a buy signal. We don't have that yet. I think it's a bullish chart. I guess that's a long story short. It's a bullish chart. We can look at this chart right there. you can see that the 3, the T line, the 8, or 17, excuse me, are bullish, right? So I like the chart. I like it a lot. But I'm going to wait for, and actually, after playing with this, I think I would come down to here. I would come down to right there. So now I'm going to wait for a buy signal in here. Let's go look at the volatility stop. We haven't even looked at that tonight at all, and we really don't have time to get into it now. But there's the volatility stop right there. That's pretty close, which that's not going to make a difference for me. I'm going to look at more, this area and the buy signal. So overall, let's go back to this chart right here. Overall, I would have to give Disney 2 thumbs up. It's trending up. Let's make that bigger. There we go. 2 thumbs up. It's trending. If it pulled back into this area right here and gave us some buy signals, I think we could be good to go. Some traders are going to wait till it actually breaks out. Perfectly fine with that. No harm waiting for that at all. So you'd wait for the breakout. Maybe you buy the breakout. Maybe you buy the rest over here. So overall, I think Disney is a good chart. I don't think it's a buy right at this moment. Let's see, MRVL. There we go. MRVL, this is one I would put on the watch list. Here's our pullback rest in a trend. There we go. That's just, finding those trades within a trend. Trend is up. We have a buy signal. What we want to do now is look for follow through. And I think I'd have to say above about that 35-30 area, pretty much above today's candle. I could see this as a buy up into here. Some folks are going to want to wait till it breaks out. There's not a thing on earth wrong with that plan. Just wait till it breaks out and then look for the trade. Let me share something before we quit tonight. When you look at a chart, I really, in my personal mind, do not believe that entries is the secret. I really don't. And another thing, as I look at this chart, I'm thinking the breakout more might be a better trade, just the way the wicks are up here, just saying. But the entries aren't the secret. The secret, I believe, is asking yourself what this chart can do for you. What can it do for you? Ask yourself that question. And if we look at this, ooh, that kind of adds a whole little different thing to it, doesn't it? Here we are right at, we go way back 2005, double top up here. But right now, it's looking pretty decent. Can't argue. I don't particularly like those wicks on the daily chart. So once we know what the chart can do for us, and if I'm gonna move this up to the top, and let's just assume that is the top. Okay, anything above that is blue sky. So when we get up into blue sky, the price can go forever. There is no resistance up here. There is no limit that it can't go. So based on that piece of information, why not? Let's just wait till it breaks out. We don't have to be sharpening our pencil for some trick entry here. And again, with these tops right there like that, those wicks, those, and in fact, is that a double top? 36.88 tweezer top, 36.88. That's 4 cents, 4 pennies off of being a perfect tweezer top. This top here is on pretty strong volume. So really, I would be a little careful with this right now. I think I would, if it can work itself back up over here and get up into this area. Let's see, get up into this area right there. That's where I would be looking for this trade. Remember now, blue sky above here. So let her rip. Let her rip. We don't have to be in this. We don't have to fight that tweezer top. We don't have to fight those 3 candles that couldn't break out. We don't have to fight the possibility of this being a top on high volume capitulation. We don't have to fight that. Let's wait for it to move up here. Oh. NVS. Don, I'm going to have to ask you, what is it you're looking at NVS? Whenever somebody asks about charts like this, and there's just, we'll go into it when you answer. What is it you're thinking on this chart? What is your thinking on this chart right here? And here's what happens is I find somebody will, when I bring this out this way, I find out later, well, you're in it. Well, lead with that next time. Or my brother-in-law works for them or something, you know something, but these are one of these charts where I really need to know, why are you looking at this chart right now? What makes this chart your chart right now, if you don't mind? Let's see, Dave. AMRX. Nice breakout on AMRX. In at 492. You are what I want to be when I grow up. We'll add on a pullback or move today's high. You know, you're saying you're going to add to it. You may be in this for a little bit of a longer haul, and then a drug stock. You know, a lot of people are in the drug stocks right now. Bring on that cure, and we're all going to be rich. Right now, this is just me and my trading, Dave. If you're in this at 492, you are up 14%. I probably would have closed that position out today. Hands down, no questions asked at all, just because we're up at this top right here. I would re-enter the trade, maybe make it a new trade on consolidation, like you say, on a pullback. See if that doesn't pull back a little bit here. Because overall, it would sure be nice to see that chart get up to about 675, and we'll even stretch, go to 7.25 up here. After that, it's a whole new game. But yeah, a great entry, great trade so far. Way to go. We're up. You know, if there's some profit taken, you're going to see that pullback. Let's just hope it stays up there and doesn't pull back, you know, to the point where your 14% turns into nothing. Yeah. And then an add to on a breakout. And that's actually a simple game. And for those looking for a trade, this might be the trade that might be one to look for here. This on that breakout. So we see whenever it breaks out, could be tomorrow, could be a week from now. What we're going to look for is that chart set up right there, that rally up and that pullback, and you can see the trend is working right there. Nice trade on that, by the way. Gwen, looking to buy it. Yeah, Boulder, BLDR. Yeah. I could probably find you a whole lot better stocks right at this moment. Let's see, MT. I've been watching MRVL. Rita can't do tomorrow afternoon. Can't do. Okay, maybe let us know. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your Apple. What was it? 3,733%. Did I get that right? Close. Congratulations. That's well done. Well done. Let's see, Pam. Rick, what is the candle pattern for Ford? Let's see. Fix or repair daily. Found on road dead. Oh, that's not what you mean. I can't say the other one. The other one is, can't say that. Spooky. I'll say spooky. This is one of these. This is one of these charts. I would have to ask, why are you asking? What brings forward to tonight? I guess. Yeah. What brings forward to tonight? Oh, never mind. I just read the rest of your comment. Let's see. I am long and red. Okay. So just for a second, all right, just for a second, Pam, just for a second. I won't stay on this long, I promise. So if you're long and you're red, then that means you had to buy it above that line. If you have the ability to put the red-green line or the Trendicator on your chart, this would have been a lifesaver, okay? So, again, I don't know if other programs can do this. I know TC2000 can, but this would have been a lifesaver right there. Just an absolute lifesaver. Okay, enough said on that. I promise you I won't stay on that. So as we pop up, again, I don't know where you bought it. Excuse me. There are some times when we have to suck up the hurt. So let's say you bought it here for whatever reason, okay? I don't know. Let's say you're down here and you're minus $5,000. I don't know. I'm just making numbers up, okay? And so it gaps up, and now you're down $500. All right. I don't know. You're down $500. That might be the best $500 you ever lost. It could be the best $500 you ever lost. I guess what I'm saying is there comes a time. How long are you going to wait for it? And I have no problem waiting forever. I really don't. I think we ought to draw a line right here. It could be going that way, but I guarantee you it's going to see some pullback down here. So we've gapped up. We made another gap up. We have an evening star up here, and now we are trading today, confirming the evening star, making us have a bearish evening star. Now, what does that mean? So all this means is that a pullback is likely. It doesn't mean the world's coming to an end. It doesn't mean Ford's going back down to $4.87. It doesn't mean that. It does not mean that we're going to come down and break below some kind of support. It does not. However, it could mean that we're going to come down and test support. That it could mean. Candlestick signals are not long-term indicators. They are short-term indicators, not long-term indicators. So right here, this is giving me a little pause. I certainly would not be a buyer on this. It doesn't even trip my trigger enough to put it on a watch list, but you're in it, I get it. So what I would watch for is if we start breaking down below these lows, you can almost bet that gap's going to get filled, which means we're going to come down to this high about 660, which means you get some panic selling in there, and we could get down to $6 or maybe even down here to 575. Now, that doesn't change that we have a pretty decent bottom in there. It doesn't change that at all. That's a pretty nice bottom, actually. And now we're working our way up. But like all charts, they don't, excuse me, they just don't go up like that. You know, they'll go up. Whoops, try this again. There we go. You know, like this is doing right now. It's going up. So we could see some consolidation into that trend maybe, and the consolidation can be down here. It could even be a little bit lower. It could sit here and twirl around for a week or two, or 10 weeks for that matter, till it builds up the energy to start moving up again. Something like that. We can't predict what's going to happen down here. Can't do that at all. So you've again, I don't know where you bought it, and nor does it really matter. You've held it this long. I don't know why you wouldn't keep on holding it. I guess that would be my end answer. I would prepare yourself for a bit of a pullback. If it doesn't, jump up and down, dance in the street, be happy. And like I said, since you've held it through all this, then I don't know why I wouldn't just keep on holding it. So I hope that was helpful, Pam. Thank you. All right, folks, hour and 25 minutes. It's time to get out of here. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it, both from myself, Ed, Doug, and Steve. Thanks very much for being here. We'll see those of you that are members. We'll see you in the trading room tomorrow, trading rooms maybe. And if you're not a member, come on over. Having that trading app is a pretty cool thing. Like I say, you don't have to be in the room to get the alerts. You can trade from your phone if that's what you do, from the golf course or the fishing boat. You guys all have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you.